I got to express this right now because it makes me feel empowered to say, you don't own me. I'm not afraid of you. You're not going to dictate my life. And I'm going to do that by saying it right now. I want to say it right now.
This story, man, moving on to this story, like, just, it's the most Dan thing ever. Like, when you found out you had an autoimmune disease, you announced it on stage in Leeds, because it was kind of amazing that you almost like told your fans first. I relate to that so heavy. That is like such a me thing. If I like anything big happens in my life, I will announce it on stage. I will announce it on the internet. It's like the relationship I have. I think that's so sick. What was that like? Why did you choose to announce your autoimmune disease to 13,000 people?
You know, it's funny, and it actually relates back to what we were talking about in the beginning, which is talking about mental health, which is there's a very dangerous notion that has been taught by our elders, which is when someone is saying, like, I'm dealing with mental health or I'm dealing with this, they're just pandering. They're looking for someone they just want attention, right? If that's the most dangerous thing that I believe, one of the most dangerous thing that we are telling our youth, which is, oh, someone's just crying for attention when they talk about being depressed. That's bull.
Yeah.
That's just, anybody who's ever told you that, just throw it out the window. Because that's what stops people from talking about these things. It's so important that we share our truth, that we're sharing our hardest parts of life. We're here and then we're gone like this. In the past 5 years, I have lost 4 very close people to me, one of which I was in the room with when they passed. Seeing someone be here and then gone puts everything in perspective. It suddenly just it makes you realize the finality of life. We are finite. And hopefully, I hope, I don't know this, but I hope that we continue on. I believe it. I believe somewhat in my heart that something continues. I don't think it's this heaven thing that I've been taught, but I think that because we're all connected and like there is something that we don't understand that happens after death. But that being said, I don't know that. And so that makes me want to live ferociously. That's why I love people like you. I'm always drawn to people who live ferociously. It's very evident when someone's super passionate and they just are like, zero excuses. I'm not perfect. I got all kinds of flaws. Let me show you all my flaws. Here it is, world. Let me tell you everything that's going on. Let me tell you my best thing. I'm excited to tell you about it. Those are the people I trust. I don't trust people who aren't expressing those things, because it just feels like, I don't know. I'm drawn to people that I feel like are just naked. Their truth is just naked. So it's like word vomit. It was just word vomit. I didn't walk on stage thinking, I'm going to talk about this tonight. I never do that. I never think about what I'm going to say on stage. You just say it. And so it was just that. I just felt like I need to say this. I got to express this right now because it makes me feel empowered to say, this disease, you don't own me. I'm not afraid of you. You're not going to dictate my life. And I'm going to do that by saying it right now. I want to say it right now. Okay, said it. And it did that. It did empower me. And it empowers me every day to talk about it because it helps me to know that I'm not afraid of it. It doesn't define me and it doesn't make me weak.
Dude, I love that. And that is just so important. Again, if you are out there and going through anything like that, you can beat it. You can be bigger than it. Own it. Own your flaws. Own your brilliance, because each and every one of you out there is simply beautiful and individual just by existing. If you take a deep breath in right now, that is a miracle in itself. You know what I'm saying? So as I say, if you are scared or you are frightened or you are going through things, you don't need to, because you're just like, I believe in you. Dan from Imagine Dragons believes in you, and it's rock and roll. Dan, you've been incredible today. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Honestly, like, I just could cry right now. I think you're insane, and I hope I can just have a career like you and help as many people as you have. Like, I love you, man.
I love you too. I love you, Dom, and I'm so proud to know you. And when I wake up every day with my 4 kids, I want them to aspire to be like you, like people who are sharing their truth, that are showing love, that aren't ashamed. That's rock and roll, for the record. Like, you want to know what rock and roll is? Rock and roll is not a sound. For me, rock and roll is not necessarily a guitar. Rock and roll, for me, what it means to me is living your truth and sharing it and exposing all the vulnerability of you and being honest. Honesty is rock and roll. That's at its core.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.